Thank you, Caroline.
What's the address of the emergency?
That's Old Farm, Tunstead, near Tunstead Church.
Okay, tell me exactly what's happened.
A man has fell off in a barn, fell down on the concrete.
Okay, are you with him now?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's middle-aged, about 35.
Is he awake?
No, he's unconscious.
And is he breathing?
Is he breathing? No, he isn't.
Okay, we've organised help for him. Stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next, okay?
Yeah, you hurry up.
Yeah, we're well on the way to you. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Okay, are you right by him now?
Yeah.
Okay, listen carefully.
Hurry up.
Lay him flat on his back on the ground and remove him.
Hello.
Okay, we've got help on its way to you.
Yeah, you need to hurry up. He's not looking good.
Okay, is he breathing?
Yeah, he is breathing. He just.
Right, he is breathing.
He just moaned at me.
Okay, what will you do? Tell me every time he takes a breath. Okay, say
yeah,
now
right now.
Every time.
He just did.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Right, that's enough of that. The full version is over 7.5 minutes long, and it is harrowing. But I thought it was the best place to start today. Good afternoon, Your Royal Highness, Lords, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Papworth, and I am a family contract farming member from North Norfolk, in and around the Norfolk Broads, as Caroline said. And I'm here, the fact I'm here is down to some pretty amazing people. Doctors, surgeons, therapists, family, friends, that have helped me rebuild my life. And I'm going to talk to you about the challenges I've had and my attitude to risk and change. Let's start with me. This is me. I'm a risk taker. I'm a dopamine addict. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love a challenge. To say these things is because, despite my accident, I will always be one of these people. Now, 2 years before my accident, I had serious spinal surgery. I had 8 vertebrae fused, 3 discs removed. I've now got 2 titanium rods and 18 screws keeping me upright, able to walk and talk to you this afternoon and still touch my toes. Now, looking back at my history of sporting activities, there's a clue there as to why that might have happened, because it actually wasn't down to any accident. It's just my spine gave out over time. Then, on October the 14th, 2010, I drove to the potato store that we were filling at the time to meet the team, and I was greeted by Malcolm, one of my senior operators. And he said to me, Tim, we can't see what we're doing in the store, the bulb's gone, and it's dangerous. And I thought, danger? Gosh, no, can't have danger. Being an employee, can't have something dangerous. I'll fix it. But what I should have thought was, Tim, are you the right man to go up that ladder, like that one, and fix it? You've got a fragile spine. How dangerous is it? Is it really important to do it now? I did think about, should I give the bulb to Malcolm and say, Malcolm, go and change. But I thought, actually, if I give it to an employee and they got the ladder and fall, then I'm liable. Oh, well, I'll just get on and do it. So I just got on and did it. Climbed the ladder, 14 feet, about the height of that ladder, to change that light bulb. And the next thing I remember was waking up in Addenbrooke's. Unable to walk, unable to talk, unable to even think properly. And beside me was my darling wife, Emma. I'd been in a drug-induced coma for over 5 weeks. I spent a further 7 weeks in Addenbrooke's before they released me home back to the farm, just before Christmas. Now, when they let me home, I just had skin and brain, no skull. And that was really very eerie feeling, being able to itch your brain. But me, I'm quite a tall man, I'm 6'1", and it made me very nervous of actually, if I knocked my head on a low door threshold or something, I get instant brain damage. So I knew I needed to have my head fixed. I went along, Emma drove me to see my surgeon for a session afterwards in the new year, and he had this piece of skull. This is my piece of skull. It's about the size of your palm, of your hand. I would show it, let all have it, but actually I'm quite attached to this. It's part of me. So I look after that. About the size of your palm. I knew I needed to have that fixed. So I said to my surgeon, I said, look, I'm feeling a bit vulnerable here, skin, but he said, yes, Tim, you need what they call a cranioplasty. Right, so couldn't tomorrow? No, there's a 6-month waiting list. 6 months? 6 months was too long for me. I didn't want to wait 6 months. I wanted to get on. I've got private medical health insurance. I wonder if I'm covered. Well, if you ring them and find out if you're covered, then if you are, then get on with it. So I rang my private medical health insurers, and they said, yes, Tim, you are covered to have this work done. So I said, great, can I go in next week? They said, yes, where would you like to go? I said, I want to go to Addenbrooke's, and I want to go to Mr. Hutchinson, the surgeon that saved my life. And they said, we've got 2 problems there, Tim. The first is Addenbrooke's is not registered, and the second is Dr. Hutchinson isn't registered. I thought, a challenge, and I love a challenge. I spent the next month, phone calls, emails, general badgering, and I got Addenbrooke's registered to do private work, and I got the surgeon registered to do private work. So I got Addenbrooke's registered, and I got the surgeon registered to do private work. I then went into Addenbrooke's for neurosurgery, one night in. The total cost of the bill was unbelievable, but that's another story. Oh, well, I'll tell you anyway. It cost me, because I got the bill at home, I got it framed in the dining room, £3,052, of which £1,500 was titanium, the rest was the neurosurgery and fitting it. That was cheap, I think. So, got that done, and I'm now officially half man, half machine. Now, there's a picture of myself and my wife Emma, my darling wife Emma. Since I had my accident, I've been at the centre of a recovery team that spanned medical professionals, therapists, the family team at home, my wife. At the very centre, my wife has been at the very centre of all of this. She's had to take me to see these doctors, surgeons, therapists. I've had every single therapy you can imagine. Physiotherapy, occupational therapy, cognitive therapy, aquatherapy, emotional therapy, a lot. But Emma's been at the centre of that, taking me around the country to see different people and do different things. So part of my recovery team, and that puts an incredible amount of strain on a marriage, a serious amount of strain. I was like the 4th child in our household. Emma couldn't go anywhere without thinking, oh, God, I want to go shopping, but what am I going to do with Tim? Got to do something with him. So I was like the 4th child. It was quite hard on us as a relationship, but actually now I can tell you that our relationship is stronger now than it ever was, and I have full respect for my wife. So thank you, Emma. Now, this man, this is Dr. Haris Begovic, and he's from Bosnia-Herzegovina, and he worked for the air ambulance. He's the doctor that saved my life. And when I had the fall and the air ambulance picked me up, and he worked on me, we flew from Tunstead, which is a place in Norfolk, to Addenbrooke's, and he was working on me. My wife, Emma, was giving a lesson for the Riding for the Disabled charity at Norwich, and she looked up and saw the helicopter go over. Didn't think anything of it until when she got home that night and was told that in that helicopter was her husband going to Addenbrooke's. And I met Haris 5 years after the accident to say thank you. How can you ever thank anybody enough for saving your life? It's impossible. But what I thought I could do is a thing called a tough mudder to raise money for the air ambulance. So last year, I did a tough mudder, basically an assault course. Now, mud's not a problem for me as a farmer. I'm used to mud. So are most of you. But the 5 miles was a challenge. Anyway, from all the supporters, some people in the room here have supported me. And thank you, everybody that has helped me. I raised an incredible £6,845 for the air ambulance. And that will save another 2 people's lives, I hope. It's a charity that's well worth supporting. Now, moving on to the farm team. There's a picture of the farm team at home. Now, because I was out for 18 months, 2 years, it was very hard on everybody. They all had a lot more work to do, especially my cousin Kit, who I work with. He had a lot more of the operational and management side of the business to do, and it was very difficult for everybody involved. Then I managed to successfully get on a thing called Access to Work, which is a government-run scheme whereby they sponsor a driver to get you through your places of work. And that was fantastic. I had a lovely lady by the name of Claire who was able to take me to some of my hospital appointments, therapies, and take some of the strain off Emma. But also it got me out and about seeing what was going on around the farm. She was able to take me to some of my responsibilities I had at the time with AHDB and NFU. And she'd take me to Stoneleigh for a meeting. At some of those meetings, you have to sit down and have a meal. That was hard. Because I was paralysed, this arm didn't work at all. It just used to hang there. And I'd have to sit down for a meal, and I'd have to ask the person next door to me, would you mind cutting my food up for me, please? Of course, nobody minded. But it was hard, and it was embarrassing to have to ask someone to cut your food up for you. But I did it. And then one day, we were driving back from Stoneleigh, and Claire could tell that I was really wound up and fed up. And she said, Tim, you feel a bit agitated today. What's the problem? I said, Claire, I just can't do it. I can't drive. I can't hardly walk. I can't eat. I can't tie my shoelace. I can't tie a necktie. I can't do anything. She said, Tim, calm down. Calm down. Have a cigarette. Well, I used to smoke when I was younger, then I'd given up for decades. So I said, go on, one won't do any harm. So I had a cigarette with Claire in the car as we were going along the A14 back to Norfolk, and within about 30 seconds of smoking the cigarette, my arm started to move. I said, Claire! Claire! I had another cigarette. Then I had another cigarette. I had found the key, something that unlocked in my body to make my arm work. It's something doctors won't tell you to smoke. It's something about nicotine stimulating part of your brain that needed stimulating. It stimulated the right part for me. I'm now fully fit and given up. But smoking, that is. But it worked for me. The smoking got me back to usual, normal health. So thank you, Claire. This man, this is my horse, Hercule Poirot. He's up there because he was part of my recovery team. Yes, not able to get around the farm, couldn't drive, but my wife would saddle him up, and when we found out I could get on a horse and I could ride, okay, I would start to lean one side a bit because my balance wasn't good and I didn't, so she'd push me up. But it was fantastic to be out and about, seeing the crops, seeing the livestock, feeling some independence and able to get about and see what was going on. So thank you, Hercule Poirot. It's my youngest daughter there as well on her pony. Now, as if the physical challenges were not enough for me, there was the mental challenges as well. I've suffered from anxiety, depression, feelings of isolation, and this charity has helped me. You're Not Alone. It's a charity based in Norfolk that signposts people for help and pays for therapy. So, fantastic charity. I think it will go a lot further, but it's based in Norfolk at the moment and looking to expand. Fantastic charity that signposts people that are in need. Now, farm safety. What can I say about farm safety? Well, the first thing to do with a farm business, in my opinion, is do a risk assessment. You can do that yourself, or you can get an outside consultant in. We have a an advisor come on a monthly basis and advise us on what's around the farm. Because on a daily basis, you walk around the farm, you don't notice the hanging gutter, the tile that's just about to fall off, whatever it might be, but the advisor notices these things and ticks them down, and then you can do something about it. Also found out that the staff don't always want to tell me that they've broken the PTO shaft again for the 3rd time that week. They've smashed the back window of the tractor again for the 2nd time that week. They've hit the barn roof, they've knocked the wall down, they've done whatever. They don't always want to tell me, but they don't mind telling him. If that doesn't work for you, then why not have an anonymous book where someone can write in what they've been doing, what's happened, anonymously. Say, sorry, but broke this, sorry, but broke that. The important thing here is to know what needs doing. Because if you know what needs doing, you can do something about it. If you don't know, you can't do anything about it. Now, farms are busy places. Ours is particularly busy. And we had a contractor working for me a few years ago. And we have a signing in book where you sign in and sign out of the farm business. And the contractor was one doing some work, and it was very on and off, on and off. He was coming, going, coming, going. And he got a bit lax at filling it out, and we got lax at checking that it had been filled out. And then we had an accident, a serious accident on the farm, and we were not aware that the contractor was on site at the time. Anyway, we got fined heavily for it. So health and safety, signing in books, very important. The future. I can't see into the future any more than any of you can. I certainly didn't believe that changing a light bulb would nearly cost me my life. But it did. And farming is still the sector of the industry with the highest level of work-related injuries and fatalities. And I hope that in the future that will change. A case in point here is this. When I left school back in the 1980s, my father said to me, Tim, you better go and learn how this potato harvester goes, self-propelled AMAC, because you're driving it tomorrow. And I was really excited. I was 18. I was really up for it. Yes, I'm going to be driving a potato harvester. Wow. So I spent a whole day with Roy, the senior operator of that machine. And during the course of the day, it got blocked. We were lifting some potatoes called Cara. It had a lot of green top. And it got blocked. So he got out, gave it a kick, and carried on. And the next day, I was in the seat. Wow, driving a big machine, lifting potatoes, I'm up for that. And yes, you got it. It got blocked. So I did what Roy did. I gave it a kick. That was the result. After that, things started to change. We issued formal written warnings for breaches of health and safety, instant dismissal for serious breaches of health and safety on the farm. And I'm sad to say that 18 months later, Roy kicked it again, and he's not here today. Health and safety is something that my generation has had to learn. I'd like to think that in the future, it will be firmly ingrained in day-to-day. It won't be an optional extra in business. It'll be fundamental through everything that farms do. I don't plan too far ahead now. I focus on what I can do in the here and now, hopefully improving continuously, seeking out new opportunities. In 2016, the farm was crowned Potato Grower of the Year, a very proud moment for me and the entire farm team. I've accepted that I'm still in recovery. I hope that one day I might be able to regain hearing in my left ear, which is brain damage from the accident. With advances of medical science, you never know. On my way to Oxford yesterday, I dropped my son off at Heathrow Airport. He's in the air now on his way to New Zealand. He's there for 6 months, 6 years, 16 years, I don't know. I just hope he has a lovely time, gains lots from it, and comes home with some new ideas and things that will help the family business at home. Because I'm ready to embrace them all. I hope that I've inspired you, some of you, by something I've had to say today. Thank you for listening, and hasta la vista.